Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Hi, I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to the Slippery Slope. So, all over the news, well, all over the internet, the outcry about the opening ceremony for the Olympic Games. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But should it surprise us? I mean, do you remember what happened? The symbolism that was put out there during the Commonwealth Games, which 2 years ago, opening ceremony for the Commonwealth Games, July 28, 2022, 2 years ago. And the symbolism that was there within that ceremony, it was when you're watching it, you're looking, thinking it is very dark. It was kind of macabre. It was very symbolic. It was a very spiritual symbol ceremony, and it looked very pagan, very pagan. And so, fast forward 2 years, now we have the Olympic ceremony. Again, very pagan. We're going to look at a couple of videos. Well, we actually one main video, and it's where the organizers are defending themselves. And one thing that's I've always noticed, when people they offer up an apology, which is what these people do. They offer up an apology and they say, "Oh, but it's not really an apology. It's, hey, we're sorry if you're offended." So we're not really sorry for what we did. We're just sorry that you got offended. But it's your fault that you got offended. We're not sorry that we actually did what we did. We're just sorry that you got offended. I just every time I hear this kind of argument, this kind of apology, I always think back to a few people in my life and think I've heard this before. They've apologized to me, but they've just said, "Oh, we're sorry. We're sorry you got hurt. We're sorry you got offended." But it's too late. Anyway, look, the opening ceremony of the Olympics, it's supposed to be this celebration. But in reality, it was an abomination. It was supposed to be this festivity, but it was blasphemy. It's it was described as being wet and wild and weird, and yep, definitely was. Uh, it was just macabre, dark, sacrilegious, blasphemous, all of those things. Should we be surprised? Probably not, unfortunately. Christianity in general it's a very easy mark. You can attack Christianity and get away with it because Christians will not retaliate. Christians will turn the other cheek. The Bible says specifically that, vengeance is mine. Vengeance belongs to God. It's not up to us to go out and get angry on God's behalf and smite the blasphemer. You're not supposed to. Murder is against the teaching in the Bible. And you don't go out and get revenge on God's behalf. Here, newsflash. If God is God, created the universe, created the world, created everything in the universe, in the world, he doesn't need you to get revenge on his behalf. He's a big God. He can do it himself. Okay. Look, the Times of India described it as they said the Paris Olympics under fire for including a child in their hyper-sexualized, blasphemous rendition of the Last Supper. So it was, the portrait that was it Da Vinci had painted of Jesus having the Last Supper with his disciples. So they've got this rendition of this painting, but they're all drag queens doing it. One of them is naked, filth. So in it, the Times of India go on and say, an apparent child could be seen joining the drag queens during the performance. They also showed a naked man painted blue as Jesus and mocked Christianity. Like I said, they mock Christianity because Christianity is the easy target. They know they're not going to get, other than some bad publicity, and in reality, it just brings more publicity for them. They're not going to, they're not going to get if they did it for another religion, they'd get what's it called, a fatwa put on them very quickly, and they'd all be running scared because they'd all be like, "Oh, we're going to get killed." They know that's not going to happen with Christians. It's not going to happen. So let's look at the video. Some of it is in French, but they've got the interpretation here. So we'll check that out briefly and just see what they actually say. The organisers of the ceremony say, and their little backhanded. They call it an apology. It wasn't an apology at all.
To the gender parity subject, one is not. So I think
and clearly there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group.
There was never an intention. Yeah. I call liar pants on fire. I don't know how she can sit there with a straight face. Look, she looks like she's smiling as she's saying it. There was never an intention. Okay, whatever. Lie to yourself, lady. Don't lie to us.
On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. That was his word yesterday.
You see what she's saying there? It was never our intention. On the contrary, you're all wrong. You are all wrong. We weren't there to insult you, to disrespect you, your thoughts, your views, your religion. That wasn't our intention. On the contrary, you're all idiots. You don't understand. You don't understand our thinking. We're being inclusive by excluding you and your religious views, your spiritual views. We're being inclusive. So suck it up.
Today, and looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are, of course, really, really sorry.
And that's what I mean by if you were offended, we're sorry. We're sorry you were offended. We're not apologizing for it. We don't take it back. Okay? We don't regret doing it. We're just sorry that you're offended. You idiots.
Blocking of the videos from the organizers' side. There've been some reports on blocking.
It was a ceremony like no other, and those are games like no other. I think that our hosts, it's easy for me to say, and we should all be grateful and thankful, they have put together a vision for these games, which is unprecedented. It's an incredible vision for a games.
Incredible vision.
We're trying to showcase that in the best possible way.
De choses peut-être qui n'ont pas été
This fellow speaking in French,
qui n'ont pas été
I think he's the person who actually,
c'est
I think it's this person he's going to be speaking in
comment
French.
vous voyez
Ma volonté
Sorry,
n'est
this
pas
one.
d'être subversif, ni de me moquer, ni de
Yeah, so sorry, I'll just say, so it's the opening ceremony creative director, this chap here, Thomas Joly.
choquer. Ma volonté est simplement
So he says, they've got the interpretation here, I did not intend to be subversive or to mock or shock. Does anyone actually believe him when he says that? I didn't intend to be subversive. Come on. Yeah. They lie to you straight to your face and then say, hey, you've got it all wrong. I didn't intend. They knew very well. This is why they do it to Christianity. Like I said, if they had have done it to Islam, he would have been dead by now. The Olympic Games would have been stopped because there'd be rioting in the streets. Rioting. Hey, Islam don't care. They're like, they're mocking Christians. Who cares about that? They don't care. This fellow would be dead right now if that was Islam. If that was, the prophet he was mocking, off with your head, bruh. What's he say? I wanted to say that we're this big name, and last night there was Republican ideas, inclusive ideas, ideas of kindness, of generosity. That's their ideas of kindness and generosity. Hey, we believe that the LGBT, we believe that the trans, that the drag community, you all have to accept them, and you have to approve. And there's nothing else. That's our idea of inclusiveness. So you have to believe, you have to approve.
De dire que nous sommes ce grand nous et que hier soir, c'était des idées républicaines, c'était des idées d'inclusion, c'était des idées de bienveillance, de générosité, des idées de solidarité, bref, de ce que je crois nous avons follement besoin.
See, hear that? Ideas of solidarity, which I believe we desperately need.
idea all along, or did it come together quite recently? What you can tell us?
Mais notre intention n'a jamais été d'être impertinent ou d'être subversif, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure.
Yeah, our intention, again, he goes, our intention was never to be impertinent or to be subversive, as I said earlier. Our idea was simply that that with this great diversity, we wanted to collectively include everyone. It's funny, they didn't collectively include anyone except for drag transgender. Apparently that represents mankind. I think it was disgusting. It was disgusting what they did. It was like I said, like the Times of India said, it was this hyper sexualized, blasphemous rendition of the Last Supper. You've got this chap painted blue, naked. Supposedly he was Jesus or representing Jesus or something. I don't know. Should we be surprised? No, I don't believe so. This is what the world does. It mocks Christians, it mocks God, it mocks Jesus. The world and this system in the world doesn't like God. It doesn't like the God of the Bible. It doesn't like Jesus. It doesn't like Jesus because Jesus, as it says, actually, I'll read it to you in the book of John. I'll go from verse 16. It says, so Jesus is talking to Nicodemus. He says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. He's talking about himself, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So he's saying that you will perish. You will go to hell if you don't believe. And he goes on and says, for God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Might be saved. Continues on, verse 18. He who believes in him is not condemned, but he who does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. And this is the condemnation. And this is the crux of why these people, they put these things in and say, oh no, we're just being inclusive. We want you to approve. We want you to accept our sinful lifestyle. Because they don't want a light shone on them. And this is what Jesus is saying here in verse 19. This is the condemnation, that the light has come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. This is the thing with the Olympics and with this chap who's saying, well, I've never meant to do this. I'm just trying to be inclusive of everyone. They want Christians to step up and say, oh, no, okay, well, we will accept and we will approve of this sinful lifestyle, because they know what they're doing is wrong. They know it is sinful, but they don't want a light shone on their sin. Because as it says, men love darkness rather than light. They love their sin. He goes on and says, for everyone practicing evil hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his deed should be exposed. But he who does the truth comes to the light, that his deeds may be clearly seen, that they have been done in God. See, the world, these people, they don't want to change. They want God, they want Christians to come down and say, well, okay, what you're doing is okay, and that makes them feel better. It says, well, okay, we're not sinful people, we're all going to heaven. It's all love is love. They don't want to change. They don't want a light shone on their evil, dark practices, because then they can just keep doing whatever they want. But if they have someone standing up and saying, hey, what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is sinful, they feel that conviction within them, and they say, well, we don't want to feel like that. We don't want to hear that what we're doing is wrong. We don't want to hear that what we're doing is sin. We want to live in our own darkness because we hate the light. They love evil. That's what Jesus was saying here. They embrace evil, and that's why they do it. So should we be surprised? I don't think we should be surprised. And I think things will get much, much worse. As it said in Matthew, as in the days of Noah, things are going to get worse, much more evil. The evil will be shoved into our face more and more. Unfortunately, these are the days that we live in. This is my opinion. Check these things out for yourself. Don't just believe my word. Don't just believe what I say. Check it out for yourself. I'm Jay Fallon. Please like and share to support this channel. I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
I'm reaching out to you. 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 I'm reaching out to you.